way to when you're doing something. And I could do with learning how to wash your hair and everything. Yeah, you got to give me a chance, and you got to give me a chance with the nurse, and that's what I'm saying. So when one of the nurses come in to give you a shower, I'll come in with you, if that's okay. And I can watch what the nurse is doing, and they can teach me how to do it for you. They can show me what I need to do and what I don't need to do. How do I need to get you up? How do I need to... What equipment do I need to use? What do I not need to use? Well, yeah, I mean, to be honest with myself, in my video what I've been saying, I'm saying that the fact is, I am asking for support and help. We don't have the money to backle what we need to backle, Natalie. Yeah, we're not, like Tony said, he wishes he had lots of money to be able to get us through this, but we don't. And I said to Tony, I know, Tony, and I said, I'm doing my best, yeah, to get this sorted, to deal with some things for us, right? I know what you're thinking, but at the end of the day, I don't care. I'm gonna channel through these people one way or another because I have to, right? Granddad's, you've heard, if you listen to them things, I need to get your headphones now.
I know, I've listened to them. I listen to them all day.
No, if you listen to one about our granddad and everything.
Yes, I've listened to them all.
Right, well, I'm just showing you bit by bit. You're good, aren't they? It's a good story. Well, it's not a story, but it's a real life story now. And it's about us. And like I'm doing this video, I'm putting this about us. Because Rupert Lowe has got the Restore going on, the Restore Britain. And he's put into a political party. And Reform Britain, they hate it. Nigel Farage hates it. And I don't like Nigel Farage. And I've already said my reasons. I'm saying my reasons in the video. Because what I do is I record it and then I put it onto YouTube, yeah? And then I take the video back off YouTube and put it onto my AI thing, and then that makes the thing of what I'm saying up. Well, it doesn't make it up, it's saying what I'm saying. And when I upload it onto YouTube, you'll be able to watch it, what I'm saying. And whatever. And then when I put it to AI or whatever, that'll tell us what I'm saying and then make a thing of that. Because I'm making it into a... Well, I'm trying to get this stuff down, break it down into what you call a letter form. Yeah, but there's a lot of information to go into one letter. I'm trying to break it all down, but make it all clear. And everything I'm trying to say, but break that down to a smaller part is quite difficult. But I'm doing it. Just bit by bit, I'm learning to do it. And break everything down into smaller pieces of it. So I can put it into letters. And like into a documentary, a document, into what you call a legal document. That's what I'm doing. I'm putting this into a legal document with this. To sue the authority. Well, it's not the hospital. It's not the hospital. It's not the nurse's fault. It's not their fault on the wards. They're just doing the jobs, what they can do. But it's the authority that have let us down. And I'm gonna hope that I'm gonna pay. I've never, Natalie, you know this voting system for the government?
Oh, yeah.
Right, well, I'm saying, because I've never, ever, ever voted for anyone. I've never put my name down for Boris Johnson. I've never put my name down for any government ever. Right, so I'm saying in my video, this is going to be the first time at 43 as a woman, as a person, as an English person, that I am going to vote for someone. And it's Rupert Lowe.
You're on loudspeaker and you shouting.
Oh, I'm voting Rupert Lowe. Right, well, I'm going to let it go because I'm trying to do the rest of my video.
Right.
Right.
Alright.
And I'll speak to you tomorrow. Or in a bit.
Right.
Right.
You speak to me in a bit.
Alright then. Alright then. Alright. I love you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Love you, bye.
Bye. Bye. Have I shouted? What is going on? Have I shouted? I'm talking. I'm saying about what I'm saying. I've never voted before and now I'm going to bloody vote. I'm voting Rupert Lowe. Nearly an hour long. So
for Labour. And
Well,
the
indeed.
The Tories were in power. They had a chance to put it right.
Yeah.
They didn't.
They didn't.
So look,
Reform ain't gonna do it.
But of course, the divide on the right, Rupert, is that Reform UK seems to be going soft on this too. And when it comes to your comments in terms of mass deportations, including anyone involved in the rape gangs, Matt Goodwin, who is running as the by-election candidate for Reform UK in Poynton and Denton, also criticised you. And I wanted to give you the opportunity to respond. This is what he told Trigonometry.
And I like Matt Goodwin as well.
Rich people think of themselves as very tolerant, very welcoming. They're
Well, I'm
not
not
up for
fucking
let's
rich
just
Matt
let's
Goodwin,
shred
so
up
piss off,
everybody
mate.
who knew anything about the rec gangs. Let's just
Oh,
round them
piss
up
off,
and
you
put them in a
dickhead. Are you involved as well?
Now, you responded to him saying that you were full of turquoise shit. Restore Britain's position is clear. Illegals gone. Legals who refuse to work, can't speak English, claim benefits, live on social housing, commit crime, hate our way of life, gone. Reform's deportation policy is piss weak. Own it. But how shocking is it for you to see your former party turn on you over these issues?
Well, look, they turned on me and tried, as you said, to put me in prison, which I had Nigel just said to me, you're not for me,
turning on the
go and become
people.
independent.
Well, they're turning on the people in the country, not Rupert Lowe.
As Ayub Khan said, watch the rubbish building up in front of you as the reform benches grow, which I thought was actually very good from him. But that would have, I'd been fine, that wouldn't have been an issue.
And I really don't care.
Instead, they tried to politically assassinate me.
I've got no time for them if they want to. I don't give a fuck if they hate me or they like me. I don't care if they like what I say, if they don't like what I say.
Yes. So can we speak about the policy though? Because where they are going to keep attacking you, Rupert, it's very obvious that this is their game plan. Because
stop
they've all been
attacking
following this
Rupert Lowe,
playbook over
Reform
the past
Party.
48 hours.
And Alex,
is that you are some way
go and do
racist
one back
and
with
that you
Labour.
are
You don't give a
embracing
fuck.
an
Go back to Labour, go back to Keir
position.
Starmer.
That is what Reform UK is putting out there. Can you respond to that?
Yes, I can.
I'm not remotely racist, even though Emily Maitlis is
No, he's not
which I
racist. He's a
consider
good
to
man,
be a
Rupert
badge
Lowe.
of honour.
He's one of the best men we've got in the country.
I have no problem with
Me,
being
I'm
racist.
right,
That's
because
what
I
I'm not a
in all of
racist. But
this
what I do want to do,
and
what I think is absolutely essential, is to protect the interests of those people who built this country.
My granddad's right beside you.
Who pay their taxes,
giving you honour.
who live here honestly and legally.
My granddad's giving you honour.
And who are being crowded out by mass legal and illegal immigration, which is not helping us because a lot of the people who come in are on welfare.
Off the king.
There are costs to our country,
King Charles
not
has
benefit
given
to
his
our
man a
country.
reward.
And it's time now to get rid of those people who aren't making a contribution, who shouldn't be. And let's start, as we said, be very clear of what we do. We would start with those people coming here illegally, so we'd stop that, we'd detain them.
They're saying that, like,
we'd then detain and deport those people who are living here illegally.
Right, but nobody's above the law, and this man hasn't broke any laws. And this man, King Charles, is the one that is going to save our country, King Charles. None of the rest are going to do it.
I think we will gradually address the issues. So
he's addressed the issue. He's addressing the issues, and he's
I think we've also
I'm right beside you, Rupert Lowe, and there's a reason. It's because you've done what you've done.
Deported straight away.
And he's proved what he's done. The thing is, he's not lying about anything. He's proved everything. Thank you.
And a lot of other countries,
and
if they don't accept returns, then we
and we need someone that is honest and decent and is not doing it just for the sake of pocket money. money. Rupert Lowe's not doing this for pocket money or money. He's put his own hand in his own pocket. He spent his own money.
You look at we look at the constitutional reasons.
This man he spent his own money to get the grooming gang scandal up and running and proving that. And for that, you deserve a medal, you deserve an award, he deserves to be the Prime Minister in this country. Thank you.
It's on our website and people can go on. That's what we are.
I can't be the Prime Minister, don't be silly.
Another big policy announcement today, Rupert.
I'm not a journalist. I am not qualified to be anything.
Well, I was just going to say, another big policy
could be,
announcement today.
if I get some help, I could be a journalist in the
Restore
future.
Britain will offer the British
I could
public
be a good journalist,
referendum on the death penalty, and that you will campaign for it to be reintroduced. You're very clear that it should only be for cases where there is categorical evidence. So I guess that would rule out someone like Lucy Letby, for example, where there are a lot of question marks over her conviction. However, you do say that there is absolutely zero benefit to keeping a monster like Axel Rugavana alive. Now, the thing is, Rupert, I think we both know
he should have had the death
that
penalty.
this referendum
why have we not deported
the
him
British public have long been in favour
with his
of
parents
the reintroduction of the death penalty, but the
or the
elite
death penalty,
class
mate.
have stopped us from having a say.
Yeah.
You will give us that say.
Yeah. For the death penalty, yeah. Thank you, Rupert Lowe. Yeah. Yeah. We deport him, mate. Back to you under. One or the two things, man. Don't give us human rights for themselves.
There's two issues here. There's
Talking
obviously
shit.
the national referendum.
You don't get human rights when you do that to little girls, man, in our country. Rupert Lowe's right.
I know it's an emotive
That could be my little girl. That could be Natalie's children. It could have been our children.
To the death
and pedo services have got hold of him. And with Rupert Lowe, I know with Rupert Lowe, I have a bit of a chance. I don't have no chance much out here, Rupert Lowe. It's not fair.
I personally would be in
this
favour
is not fair.
Of the death penalty.
Yeah.
For people
it's not fair on people like me and my sister. We've done nothing wrong to this world. We've done nothing wrong.
The referendum outcome.
Me and my sister have done nothing fucking wrong.
When we had a referendum on Brexit,
we're just normal, everyday people.
Guided by the people's majority view
and
on Brexit,
and then
which they didn't vote
and then
for
got stabbed up to death.
They voted for it for national reasons. They wanted
and
their
I've
country
done nothing
back.
wrong to have to worry
Even
like
if it was
this.
going to cost them some money, they didn't care. They're not just driven by money. So
and I'm not driven by money. I'm driven by our life.
Davis, that she's innocent. That is an entirely different case. I don't think we can definitively say that she is guilty. It is quite possible that she was a victim of an establishment that was trying to cover its tracks for its own failures.
Like they've done with me.
It's vile to think that could happen, but that is a possibility. And if you talk to people who know much more about it than I do, they firmly believe that to be the case.
Talk to me.
I mean, how long
I feel it's a bigger case of
for
how long
would
justice take,
and for her to be
and how long would justice take for me and my sister to be treated like people, and for social pedo fucking services to give us some justice and bring our children back to us.
Doesn't happen towards her.
How long will that take?
How long that will take?
Exactly.
I don't
before
know.
anything happens to them, Rupert Lowe.
As they say, a lot of things going on at the moment which are detracting from our concentration on an issue like that. But she would, something like Lucy Letby is a totally different case to Axel Rudikabana. Or the Manchester bomber, or
three female
people
girls
who
that are on their
are
own.
Without question guilty, who've perpetrated crimes against other people.
Being trafficked out or raped or anything could happen. This is what I've been saying, and I'm not trying to paint
the majority view
anything different, because that's exactly what it is.
I wouldn't die in the trenches. I would say that's my view.
Pedo fucking services.
Let's have a fair and open vote on it.
Yeah, let me have my vote and let me have my say.
I'm going to ask you about what's going on the right of British politics. Ben Habib and you have been good friends in the past, but it seems like a merger between Restore Britain and Advance UK isn't going to happen now. You've been swapping messages publicly on social media. That will disappoint a lot of people, Rupert?
It is a
What's
bit.
really
It's
going
not
on
disappointing.
between
Well, it is a bit
Restore
with Ben
and
Levine
Advance?
with
Could
this,
there still
actually.
be a merger?
I think this is Ben Levine
Well,
now.
of course, anything
Getting a
can
bit
happen,
stubborn.
Dan, but
And I want Ben Levine
I mean, people know,
with
and
Rupert
I
Lowe,
never
hopefully.
ever
This
said
is what
a
I
bad
really
word
hope
about
so.
Ben. I was in the
Rupert
European
Lowe.
Parliament
Really,
then.
yeah.
I've got the
Because I
highest
like
regard
Ben
for him.
Levine, and I've got nothing against
He
Ben
and I
Levine.
had doubts about the
I'm-
Brexit deal. We had doubts about the
right,
Northern Ireland Protocol.
I'm
But
by side
we
of
were
Ben
whipped to
Levine
vote
as well.
for the Brexit deal, which we did. However,
And everything Ben Levine does and
my
he's
friend Robert
doing,
Roland
I
and I
mean,
will have dinner after
I'm right by the side of what he's been doing.
after the Brexit vote.
I mean, you've both been doing. I mean, Ben Levine's got to give you know, Ben Levine.
So look,
At the end
I'm
of the day,
close to
Rupert
Ben.
Lowe's been doing the
When,
Green inquiry. Ben Levine's doing another inquiry.
assassinate me, which
And
I have to say
please, they
they
can
failed
put this
in,
together.
but it was
Ben
a pretty
Levine,
vile,
please,
and
Ben
unchristian,
Levine, you can put this
piece of
together.
behaviour. Ben and I
Please
did meet
stop.
with our teams, and we
Please.
tried
It's
to
not about
find a way forward.
who's
And as
who.
you know, I wanted a movement.
Yes.
I
This
didn't
is
want
about,
a
like
party
saying, the
at that time.
people in
And
the
I think
country
my movement
are
plans were
desperate
it's united
for a
as
proper
I said,
party,
elements of the right,
for a
and
proper
particularly,
government
the Tories put
party.
me on the Public
We are
Accounts Committee, which I said
desperate.
earlier I'm very
We've
grateful
got, there's
for.
no other way.
And you can
It's
see
got
the work I do
reform.
trying to hold these permanent
Labour,
secretaries to account,
Conservatives,
who, as I say, don't
and,
care about public
and
money.
I do care
But
about
we
this.
had
My granddad's fought for this
a
country.
meeting.
And I care about my little sister's life, and I care about my life and our girls' lives.
To go for a party,
Right? This is what I am fighting
would happen last
for.
Friday. He would then
I am fighting
join in.
for
However,
my
Ben
sister's
decided
life,
to go
my
and
life,
set up Advance UK with its
Natural's
college
children,
and
her two
the
girls,
structure he
and my
wanted.
little girl.
Meanwhile, I went and set up
And then the country.
Restore Britain and did it a different way. So we've both now got our own members, we've got our own structures, we've got our own teams, and
I just want you
it's
to both
not
put that
easy
together,
then to
really.
find a solution that's fair to everybody
Yeah,
in terms
but
of
there's
merging
no
the
fair
two.
solution to anything.
And as you find
The
with
fair
all
solution is put
mergers,
this together
who merges with who
Nick.
who emerges as
Please-
the dominant party,
Please put this
and you
together.
end up getting
You,
all sorts of
Rupert Lowe,
complications.
the
So
government.
at the moment,
I
the
want
situation
you
is
to be
we
the
are
Prime
allies.
Minister. Rupert Lowe
I
needs to
thought
be the
Ben
Prime
was very
Minister.
supportive
But this is very important for
yesterday
people
after
to listen
Farage
to.
made all those
Rupert
ridiculous
Lowe
comments.
needs to be the
I'm
Prime
grateful to him for
Minister.
that.
So don't
But
pick and
I think
poke.
there are
Rupert Lowe
issues
needs to
of
be the next Prime
structure,
Minister
there are
of this
issues
country.
of
To get
membership.
everything this
there are
country
various
needs
philosophical
restored
issues,
back to Britain.
which
Rupert
mean I
Lowe
think
is the
at
man.
the moment we've got to both keep
Rupert Lowe
ploughing
is
our
the
own
man
furrow.
to be the next Prime
But
Minister.
I have these people who
Next,
constantly
Nick
say to me, oh, you're
from
going
UKIP.
to
I
split
want
the
Nick
vote.
to be
Well, I
the
don't
deputy
agree with that because
Prime
what we're
Minister.
finding, Dan,
I
and
want
I think this is the most exciting thing,
basically
is that people
Ben
who haven't
Levine
voted
to be the
for a very long
immigration
time
minister,
are
the
now
immigration
flocking
person that does
to restore
deal
Britain.
with
So a lot of the people
immigration
who
and
joined up are
everything. I
not
wanted
the voters
Liz just to
who
be,
voted
well,
in
I want
the
the
last
swell
election.
Braven to
They're
the
people who
housing minister,
became
that
disaffected with
type of
politics.
person to deal
And
with
they're now
them things.
hopeful that
That's
there
what I
is
wanted.
a solution,
And
or
I
at
wanted
least
Liz just
a
to deal with the
possible
budget
solution
side.
to Britain's
That's
problems.
what the
And
5 people I put
I'm
together
not
as being
a
heard
rocket
in Parliament.
scientist. All I am is what you see. I'm pretty straightforward. I'm a provincial boy. I run lots of family businesses. I care deeply about the staff who work for us. Our family business has been going 100 years. I like Britain as it used to be. I realise that we can't be totally recidivist and just look backwards, and we have to look forwards, and we have to embrace all forms of technological change. And you know, I think, let's face it, people of my age have started with the Gestetner machine, and we're now in a completely different era, and we've had to struggle to keep up, Dan. But you know,
I know, and yet here you are, a social media superstar with the most viral political video of the decade. I mean, it's quite something. Okay, look, Rupert, what about UKIP?
Dan, I've got to give my team credit. My team is fantastic. You know,
Yes, no, they are brilliant.
My grandmother used to say, "The old are wise, the young are able." Well, I provide the wisdom; they provide the ability. Okay?
No, they are
look,
social
it's
media
a team effort,
superstars.
but if people want change, I'm the lightning rod. I'm very happy to try and lead the charge. I am what you see. I will genuinely do my very best. But I think we've got to win. We've got to win by 2029, and we've got to really then have a radical agenda for change. That's where we're going.
Just final question, Rupert. I've got to ask you about UKIP because we've got Nick Tenkoni, UKIP's leader, coming on next. He released a statement last night suggesting that he would be open to a merger between UKIP and Restore Britain. Are you open to that?
Look, I'm open to unifying everybody who shares the agenda that we've put forward. And Nick and I have not met. I can see Nick. I think he's on the screen now. Nick and I haven't met before. We've not conversed before. As I say, mergers have to be handled very carefully. The analogy I use, Dan, is as a farmer,
just means that
if you get a pen of bullocks which are being fattened on barley or silage or whatever, they have a few fights to start with and they work out who's boss. If you start throwing in new bullocks, you end up with a whole load of new fighting if you're not careful. And I saw it in football. You can upset a changing room if you start bringing in too many new people, particularly if those new people think that they are either better footballers or more intelligent or more able or have more weight, whatever. So you've got to handle mergers very, very correctly. But I think there's no reason why people on the right can't continue to do their own thing. The time to start talking about merger is before the next election. And that ultimately will tell you, so what we've got to do is garner all the votes we can collectively, and then put those votes or put that support of the British people, because in the end it's the British people who count, put their support together and try and then become the agents for change, which is so necessary. And I personally think everybody's got to keep cracking on and not getting too vexed about whether or not you have a sort of formal merger where we all share the same views and we all provide, if you like, an option for the British people. That doesn't stop us supporting each other when we get to the election.
That's it, raise the colours. I hope he joins you.
Depending on how many votes we'll get, depends on how that cake is cut up.
Please.
So look, I don't subscribe to the view that we all have to be
changing everything, but I'd like Dan to be in your party.
Now, what we're doing is we've got to tell the British people the problems we've got, which I think we're doing.
It is Danny.
Again, I suggested to Ben he came eastwardly to Suffolk Coastal. He chose to stand again in Wellingborough, where I told him he was never going to win. He didn't win.
Yeah.
And although Parliament is dysfunctional, being an MP is still an incredibly powerful tool and potentially agent for change. But, that's why the existing establishment did not want reform breaking into Parliament. And our biggest achievement, in my view, was myself, Richard, Nigel and James Murdoch being elected into Parliament. We were 4 new faces with absolutely no previous experience in Parliament. That's brilliant.
And he's done well, mate.
The fact that Nigel is now aggregating
in everything he's done,
the Tory cabinet who arguably let us down.
Oh wow, yeah.
I joke with my team that all we need now is Boris, and we've got the full house.
Boris,
so,
you got the full house and fucking
that I think undermines his brand every time he brings them in. I don't think that's what the British people want. But look, if he's right, they'll vote for it. If he's not, then
like I said, I am a bit gutted with the celebrating because I want them bringing him into the party.
They are the ones with the wisdom.
There's reasons and why I've said that.
We've got to persuade them that what we offer is what they want.
Well, it is a big 3 years ahead. Congratulations on 70,000 members. That was the big announcement from Rupert Lowe today. Leader of Restore Britain, now a national political party. Rupert, thank you so much. Nick Tenkoni, who is the leader of the UKIP party, joins me alongside my wonderful superstar panel. Today we have Richard Thompson, who is the National Director of Advance UK. Montgomery Toms, of course, an independent YouTube sensation, but also now a representative of Restore Britain. and then wonderful activist Kelly J. Keane. So, Nick Tenkoni, let's come to you first. You heard that doesn't sound like Rupert Lowe
Nick
is keen
Tenkoni,
for your
come on,
merger
Nick,
offer.
please.
Is
Come
that
on,
what you were
Nick.
sensing, Nick?
Please, Johnny.
What are you talking about? It was a done deal. You heard it yourself, Dan. The guy's all over me, right? Yeah, let's. Well, first of all, peace be with you. It's Ash Wednesday, so let's focus in on what's important, right? The season of Lent has begun, and we're about to be bombarded with Islamic propaganda from the monarchy, from the government.
Please, Nick.
This is
you make
the
a good
Ramadan
part in
calendar
all
works
of
backwards,
this,
so every
mate.
12, 10 years, whatever, this is going to happen, where there's a crossover. Let's focus on what's important first and
you make a
foremost.
good part.
It's the
I hope Ben
holiest
the
of
Bee
seasons
joins with you.
worldwide as we
I
prepare
want
for
Ben the
Lent,
Bee with
and
you
now
and Rupert.
we
I
engage in
want
alms
you,
giving,
by the side of
contemplation,
Rupert Law,
the
the
mysteries,
Deputy
charity,
Prime
fasting,
Minister. I want you to
abstinence,
be the Deputy
self-denial.
Prime
This is what the
Minister.
nation needs. And
I want
Britain
Rupert Law to be the Prime
Britain
Minister.
needs
I
its
want
roots,
you to be the
Dan,
Deputy
and our roots
Prime
are
Minister,
Christ, thanks
which
be
will
to God.
put you,
So
which will
I
put you,
say,
Nick,
without the
in
grace of
line
God,
to be
we
the
are
next
so far
Prime Minister
fallen
after
from
Rupert
grace.
Law.
The
What you want
wickedness
to
that we are
say.
surrounded in. The only way
Thank
we
you.
can combat this is with the
Which
armour
will
of
put
God and the shield of faith.
you in
We
line to be the next Prime Minister
need
of
God's grace
Rupert Lowe.
to win this battle, or
Which
the
is
Islamic Caliphate will win.
is then
Cut by the
amazing,
unholy
mate.
alliance.
Come on,
We
that
just
is
want to
amazing.
respond in terms of
Please,
Rupert's
that
reaction.
is.
I want to use
I
the
know you
unholy
want to be
alliance
the
as an
Prime
example
Minister
of
now.
why it's so important we talk
But
about this. But
let's
look,
be important
all
and talk
joking
about
aside,
this. At
the
the
unholy
moment,
alliance
Nick,
mobilised behind a
you've
party
got
called
what it
Greens,
takes to be the Prime
and they're
Minister
polling very
next.
well with the Gen
But
Z.
we
So
need
we're all
Rupert
talking
Lowe
about
first.
Labour, so much hatred
Rupert
and
Lowe needs
vitriol.
to be
We've
the
got
one
to stop the
first.
Uni Party. We've got to stop the Uni Party.
Yeah.
This is tactically dangerous. There are two enemies. There's the Uni Party and the Communists. The Islamic Caliphate comes into power through the Communists. That's how this works. So we must have one eye on the clear and present danger, but also further afield as well. So let me tie that into Rupert's response. Obviously, I've extended the hand a year ago to the day. I made a face to camera, pint in hand, give or take an inch, and I said, Rupert, you've been mistreated by a liberal. You came in on Rupert came in on Nigel's ticket, right?
You have,
You've been mistreated
yeah,
by a liberal.
has.
We're right wingers. You need to jump on the team for the big win. A year later, he hasn't got back to me. I've now made the statement very clear. UKIP's position is unity. First and foremost, it's unity. We haven't painted ourselves into a corner where we can't do business with any one person, whereas Rupert and Ben have. Now, you could argue that's really great, clear water. We have to stop the Uni Party down, and we have to block the communists. And UKIP has got as far as to say, in our detention, deportation, remigration policy, we want the communists gone as well. And every one of your panel there's only one gentleman I don't know, every one of them is an activist who's on the front line, who's fighting against Marxist ideology, whether your angle is women's rights, freedom of speech, or in the case of UKIP, defending Christianity and ensuring that Britain remains a Christian land. So
that's why I want you with
one of the reasons why people were so excited with the launch of Restore Britain over the weekend is that we were salivating at the idea of unity on the right, and
I think
it doesn't look like that's
Restore
quite going to happen. So I want to bring in Richard Thompson, who is the National Director for Advance UK.
First.
Richard,
I think I was a bit at first.
Rupert there.
I was with Reform.
He said, look, we've got to keep doing
I
our
made a
own
mistake
thing.
as well.
That's going to disappoint
I
a lot
did
of people.
first.
But
I
what
made a
is
mistake
your
at
plan
first with
at
that.
Advance UK? If
I've
this
not-
merger
I've
idea
not
is
voted
rejected,
for
are you
anybody
going to
So I've not
keep
made any
on
mistakes properly.
competing
I
on the right?
made a
versus
mistake
Restore
as
Britain
in
now?
being
Well, of
wheeled in.
course, we keep going.
Like oil on a wheel.
That's
Like
what
a
we're
fish.
here for. We're here as a
Wheeling
party
us into
to, make sure that the rights
think
actually
that
have a voice,
Reform
and we're happy to work with
UK
anybody.
was going to be the
your
proper
point,
part
Nick,
of the
when you
new
were saying about,
the new thing, the
Ben
brand
is
new
very clear that we
of
would work
everything.
with anyone. We
And
would.
yeah,
We
it
absolutely would.
was something
Anyone
that was new at
aligned
the
with us
time. Yeah.
philosophically, in terms of
Yeah,
what
probably
is
right.
the
I mean, everybody
country
jumped
and
straight
making
in.
a sort of sovereign,
Of course we
proud,
did, because
prosperous,
we didn't have anything
united
else to
kingdom,
jump
absolutely
in for,
would.
so everybody's
The
going to
offer with
jump
Rupert
straight
obviously
in.
remains open. I really do sincerely hope that
Good.
some sort of deal and merger can be done, maybe into the future. But as it stands, as he says, maybe there is some issues around the structure, that needs to be ironed out. But this is just
it's just
very
dying
early
in
days for
some
them.
things
I
out,
think
mate.
what
That's
would be really
okay.
good
Well, that's
to
okay.
see is, as he
Right,
said, he
that's
sent
all
out
right.
the
People can
invitations.
iron things out.
You
People can
know,
have the say.
whether they're notional invitations, but
This is what this is
the
about.
implication there is that he's willing to do some sort of
And
work
do.
with other parties.
This
that
is
are
not just
like-minded.
doing deals.
Well, I would love to
Nobody's
see him
doing
endorse
deals and
then,
wheels
Nick
here.
Buckley.
It's not
In the
deals and
Gordon
wheels
Dempsey.
here.
Yeah,
This
we're
is
in a very
about
difficult
the
time right now.
country.
We've
We're
got
not.
by-election coming up.
Nobody needs
We've
to
seen
think
what's going
about
on
dealing
with,
and
as you
wheeling.
pointed out, with the Greens.
Let's
and
get
this
this out of
unholy
people's
alliance
heads, please.
that's forming there.
Yeah,
You know,
let's
we
please
need
get
to
this
have
out of our
strong
heads that
representation.
people
We
are
don't want-
dealing
Well, let
and
me ask
wheeling.
Montgomery Toms about that.
Nobody's dealing
Montgomery Toms,
and
would that
wheeling,
be a
doing
good idea
any of
for
that.
Restore Britain to sort of show
Okay.
some unity? Obviously, it was too late
Everybody
for you guys
needs
to
to get
run
on the
a
same
candidate
pages.
yourself in Gorton and Denton.
And please get
But
on
would
the
it be
same page.
powerful to
Please,
see Restore
mate.
Britain actually
Please
endorse an incredible candidate
join
like Nick
and
Buckley?
be the Deputy Prime
Look,
Minister.
my perspective, obviously, things
I
are
want
very
Nick to be the
fast-paced, and I
Deputy
announced-
Prime
was
Minister.
announced just 2 days ago.
I mean,
That you know,
that's
I'm
a
coming
very,
out
very,
working
very,
with,
very.
backing Restore Britain.
I'm
Quite
saying
honestly,
I
my
am
answer
backing
to that
Restore
is,
Britain. I want
I don't
Nick
know.
to be the
This is
Deputy
above
Prime
me at this
Minister
point
of
in time,
Restore
and I
Britain.
purely want to come in from the angle of I am backing
And I'm on
Restore
the
all the way,
outside.
and the decisions that they
I
make
don't
as a
belong to
party
anybody of
are
this.
ever
I
evolving,
don't
ever
belong to
changing, of
anybody that
course.
speaks
And I
I
can't
don't
answer that
belong to
question.
any
But what I can
flipping
say
anyone.
is it's absolutely the ambition of people at Restore and
And
myself,
I'm saying
and
what
also
I'm
I think
saying
everybody
on the
on this
outside
panel,
of
and
a
of course
person.
you. And you can say everyone on the right. I just say on everyone on the side of truth, really, and pushing back against
And
this
I am telling the
tyranny and
truth.
authoritarianism we've seen over the past, 5, 6
I
years
am trying to
specifically,
tell
is that
as
we
much
just
of the
need
truth as
to
I can see.
beat this,
I don't know these
the
other
completely
people very much, really.
systemic
I'm sorry, I
and
don't know who
corrupt,
you are very much. I don't know who
lefty
these
nonsense
other
that
two
has
people
taken
are.
over
But I know Nick,
our government.
and
So
I'm
I want to
advocating for
see
Nick to be the
movement in
Deputy
a
Prime
direction of
Minister.
unity. How that happens, I'm not sure. I just want to get
Deputy
as many,
Prime Minister
specifically
is
young
Rupert
people, active
Rupert to be the Prime
in
Minister,
having this
Nick to be the
discourse,
Deputy
in
Prime
having this
Minister.
discussion, and thrashing
Which
ideas
is-
out. I always make that point that the
I
way we
want
grow,
Bella
especially
Beef
on
to
the
be
right,
the
not
next
by
person
saying,
behind Nick.
we're 100% right, we need to do it this way.
I
It's
want
about saying,
Bella
no, we need to
Beef
have
with
public
Rupert
discourse,
Lowe
open
and Nick
conversations.
and
My angle on this at the
Ben
moment
the
is really
Beef.
simple. Let's have a conversation
That's
and
what
get
I
young
really want.
people
Together, them
really
three people
involved
together.
in the right
This is what
politics.
I
Kelly
want.
Jenkins, you're a bit like
These
me,
three men
I
together.
think, not party
Three men
political, but you're looking at all of this, watching all of this, seeing
I
these
looked at things
different
about,
parties
like you
sort
say,
of go
in this
hammer and
trust.
tongs at each other,
As
even
to
though
celebrate
fundamentally we all agree on the same stuff. Does it
It's
frustrate
because
you?
I
Do
think
you
because
want to
of
bang
strong
their
women,
heads
I'm
together, or do you
thinking
think
like,
actually they've got to fight it out
celebrating
and
the lights
see
up
who comes
waving
out
moon.
supreme,
I like this
as
trust.
Rupert Lowe seemed to be suggesting?
So I was thinking,
Well, I
two
think whatever
strong
they do,
women
they've got to do it
together,
quickly,
them two
because
together,
I'm very
the
annoyed
strong
that
political women
you
as
seem
they
to have
are, they're
a
already
right,
established and
because I think
everything.
the Conservatives have lost all their
I was going to say
collective
that
minds
would
when it comes to
have,
being Conservative. They don't
that's the
seem to
only
do that
Conservative
anymore.
people I was taking
And I
in.
don't think Kelly's going to
Thanks.
bring anything back quick
And I
enough
do
to
like
win the
Kelly
next election.
Bergamo,
So
but like you're saying, she's not
Reform,
able to fight
great,
this on her
really
own.
happy, and then
She's not,
they
she
seem to
cannot
be
be the Prime
snatching
Minister, I'm
defeat out of
sorry.
the jaws of the victory.
I've
And I
already
just
said
don't
it. I
understand
like
it.
Kelly Bergamo.
When all you've got to do
not,
is steady the ship long enough
I
to be
quite like
elected.
her.
That's
I've
the
got
job
nothing
of
against
a
Kelly
party
Bergamo
like Reform.
whatsoever.
And then
And I
they
don't
seem
think
to
I'm
have had
going to have
squabbles
much
with
against her.
Rupert
In any
Lowe, and
bad
I was
sense.
actually given
Um,
different information
But
from
as a
Nigel
person,
Farage.
I'm
I'll probably
saying
seek
I,
legal
she
advice
can't be
before
the
I say
Prime
what it is.
Minister. She
But
doesn't
I was
have
given
what it
different
takes.
information from
I'm
Farage
sorry.
personally about
And
what
she's not
happened to
English.
Rupert.
I'm sorry.
And I'm,
She doesn't
I just
born,
think,
she
come on,
wasn't born
boys,
in
put your big
England.
boy
I'm not
pants on,
being...
and
Because I like that
let's
lady,
just make
but
sure that
it's...
one of you, some of you, all
She's
of
got
you
to
can be
understand that it's
elected.
everything that's
I
coming
mean, I
with
started a
this.
party called Party of Women so that we could
I
specifically
am
talk
for
about
Rupert
issues
Lowe.
that women face, because I think
All
that
the
all
way.
too often we just, women's issues just get sort of shoved around, and
Yeah.
there's always something more important.
Yes,
So-
although Rupert has already launched like the strongest, most strident pro-woman policy
Policies.
that I have seen, actually.
Ever seen. And this is why I
and
trust Rupert Lowe.
I think when you look at his work
This is
on the
what
rape
he's
gang
done.
inquiry, January 2, you can see that Restore Britain, I think, are going to be a
he needs
very
medal.
powerful force for women.
I hope you give him.
Yeah,
I
I
hope,
think
these-
it-
I
I
hope,
think
these,
that
I hope
his-
you really
his
understand.
work
People
with
understand what
breakdown
Rupert Lowell's done,
inquiry
Dan,
and
please.
actually making
Dan,
sure that
I hope
happened, I think
people
is
understand what
that
that man
phenomenal, and
has really
you know,
done.
that's in and of itself is enough for him to get hundreds of thousands of votes for women. I can't believe that nobody else had done it.
Okay.
You know, we've known about this a long time. Grooming gangs, and I call them the Pakistani paedophile rape gangs, but grooming gangs have been in our network for a long time.
Absolutely.
Yes, it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Now, look, Nick, I want to ask you about an exchange that took place last night on Talk TV, because this has very much divided the right. Alex Phillips, who in the past, I mean, gosh, she was a regular here on Outspoken actually for a long time, until I think she thought that probably I wasn't pro-reform enough of a Farage. But look, she's a friend and she's a very good woman. But she does seem to be wanting to box Restore Britain specifically, but I would argue anyone to the right.
And why is Nick not going mad about
into some type of ethno-nationalist?
Why is Nick not fighting against you?
She first did it with Charlie Downs 2 days ago, and then last night she did it with young Bob. Now, he's a 17-year-old guy. Obviously,
and this is why I want
him have had a bit of a back and forth, and you know, he is a kid, he is very young. But what was interesting is that actually
he deserves that job,
the right online very much came down on young Bob's side after this exchange. Milo Yiannopoulos writing, note the rising generation of young British activists making absolute mincemeat out of supposedly more seasoned reporters, and they all support Restore. Embarrassing to watch this host retreat into tired TV legalese, bogus ethics swerves, appeals to authority her own. So I just want to play you a couple of the most astonishing exchanges between Alex Phillips and young Bob, and then I'll get you to respond.
She bullied young Bob.
Listen, can you not see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, no, I can't.
We need to be very clear about this, because otherwise we're on a slippery...
I don't see why you come from bullying Iron Bob.
Because
you fucking
which is, like I said, going door to door and saying to people, what are your...
Leave Iron Bob alone.
Because I don't think anybody...
Sorry.
Well, no, but
Well,
not
the lead should
Charlie
leave
Downs
him
or you.
alone.
Okay, so
no one is suggesting. No one suggested.
He's a fucking young man
So how do you...
that has been through a lot.
How you prosecute a policy where people who don't integrate...
Not that I'm not going through a lot myself, but hey ho.
Very simple.
It's not just about myself. This is about the fucking country and everything, yeah.
Begin to ban those ideas.
And our life, you witch, I can't stand her. And the way she's dressed there, it's horrible.
Ideas exist inside someone's
She's angry,
head.
it's horrible.
No,
This is so dangerous.
Practices.
No,
I just think we've got...
you're dangerous.
Oh, thank you ever so much for coming in.
Do you know what's
Another morning,
dangerous
you're
is
very
her.
young. You're starting out on your career. I do
Doesn't
not
matter what
want to
happens.
see. I do not want to see you blow yourself up.
And Keir Starmer's going to throw you out the water, you silly woman.
Right?
Oh,
Baby down.
you're going to get
Nick,
thrown out
Tony,
the
what
water,
did you
Keir
make of it?
Starmer. See,
Very
fucking
loud.
don't like you.
Very loud, very unpalatable.
She's nasty,
so
mate,
you
that
keep
was.
down, we rise above the noise.
That was
This
nasty
is one of
of
the
her, mate,
benefits
to do
of
that to
having
you,
Christ in
Bob.
our hearts. We live ordered
That was
lives.
horrible,
we have ordered
mate.
thoughts.
He's not
embarrassing to watch.
a qualified person
Alex
like
is,
that,
well
mate.
liked.
He's a
She's
young
well
man,
liked,
and he's had that
position
much
centre
stick.
right, we're right-wing Christian nationalists.
And to do that
Back. So I'm not sure what the
on
hysteria
national
and
TV
the
for
emotion
herself.
is for. I think we need
She
a lot
should be
less
ashamed
about
of
the
herself.
right. I think that
Be
Twitter
ashamed
is
of herself, man. I'd be
99%
ashamed.
emotion. There's a huge amount of grifting, and
She's a
the
bully.
people that profiteer off of our
Yeah, I'm
destruction
going to say,
are
mate,
rubbing their hands
profiteering
in
off me, she can fucking
and on accounts
move.
as well, who have
I
no
don't
accountability.
like bullies.
MI5 plants on it, the
She
amount of
bullied that other
controlled
young
opposition
man.
and
then she bullied
designated
Bob as well.
task forces
Young Bob as well.
resources spent with
And-
people
and
who
come on, man,
who
he's
like
not-
these posts and share them
He's
and actually
not
platform
qualified, he's
platform
not
these people and give them airtime.
MPs and all of them
You don't have to
people.
be an activist in the field with Marxists spitting in your face to have a degree of common sense. Are we not aware of MI5 plants and controlled opposition and state assets who seek to divide and cause problems? And it's all based on hatred, vitriol, spite and emotion. Now, what I just witnessed there, I haven't seen that clip before. I have absolutely no comment with regards to a 17-year-old who has in no way, shape or form earned his stripe. Burn every single political bridge and every single hand
on
that
a
was,
child.
olive branch that was extended
That's
to him.
bullying,
The amount
that
of
is,
counsel and schooling he was given to then go and behave the way that he's behaved, unapologetically so, and also to be
She's
so full of
bullying,
deceit
mate.
and a liar and a hypocrite. And I know that. this is something that is not for professionals to engage in. But with regards to Alex, she needs to get a hold of herself. She needs to, she's centre right, and she's a reform, what is she, a reform spokesperson? She's Nigel
Yeah,
Camp
up his
through and through.
ass.
So let's start linking this to your original point about Rupert and what happens next.
Yeah.
Guys, we've got a real fantastic situation on our hands here. You want liberalism? You want centrism?
Well,
Vote
she
reform.
can get
You
out.
want some sort of centre-right?
Because I'm having fucking pedos
Centre
like
right.
Nike
We don't
Fresh.
believe in right and left, and we're certainly not going to acknowledge the communists. Vote advance. If you want Christian nationalism, Christianity back into the heart of government, and Marxism ripped out of Britain, vote Christian nationalist UKIP. If you want something which, and this is where I conclude, Dan, so let's put some meat on the bones here and let's not shy away from it. You brought it up, not me. My questions are, what is the ideology at Restore? Are there any boundaries being set? What is the ideology? Is it conservatism?
Well, we've got Montgomery Toms here, so let's ask, because Rupert was very clear today, responding to the attack from Layla Cunningham, who has actually gone on GB News and described Charlie Downs as a neo-Nazi and spoken about an Aryan race. Rupert Lowe has been very clear today, Restore Britain is not a racist party. They were his words, Montgomery Toms, but it feels to me like Alex Phillips and the Reform lot are trying to put you guys in an ethno-nationalist box.
Dan.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely ridiculous, the idea to call someone like myself and other people that are in Restore, or even support Restore racist. That means you're calling a lot of people racist, which you've only got to look on social media to know that's really not the case. Look, the thing is, we need to have frank and open discussions about what it is to be British. And if we can't do that without, throwing our toys out the pram, where are we in 2026? The fact is, just because you have a piece of paper that says that you are British, it doesn't mean you're British. A passport, in my opinion, does not reflect what is absolutely integral to being part of this nation, which is your lineage, which is your ancestry. That doesn't turn you into some far-right
my ancestry means I'm English.
Extremist who hates people of colour. I mean, it's just ridiculous. We should be able to thrash these ideas out really openly and firmly. And the reaction that I saw, and I thought it was a very interesting dialogue. And I'm glad, this is a discussion I'm sure many people have had, not publicly, which is finally reaching. But for example, this panel that we're having right now is interesting the way we're having this discussion. I feel like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe we weren't prepared to be able to thrash these ideas out, but we are in a position where we can thrash these ideas out. We should be having these discussions.
Exactly, without just saying racist, neo-Nazi. Because Kelly J. Key, that's, Bonty, you took the words out of my mouth. I was literally going to say to Kelly J. Key, this is the deceitful tactic of the hard left, and it actually breaks my heart to see Reform UK going down this path. Because remember, Kelly, the left are now just going to use these tactics on them.
Yeah, on Reform.
Yeah, look, I think Layla Cunningham saying that about anybody, a political opponent of any stripe, I just think it's a bit amateur, isn't it? It's a bit babyish. We've all been there, we've done that. Those words don't even mean anything anymore. Most of you haven't been called an answer in 5 years. Have you even said anything meaningful or truthful? Probably not. So I think it really destroys her own reputation. I think she comes out worst for that. But I do think when you introduce terms like white and Christian and you say that is, upon that basis, you are British, I do think you invite some pushback for that. I think many of us, I'm 52 nearly, lived in this country my whole life. My granny, granddad, great-grandparents, etc., my husband's in a doomsday book. We're the most English people I know, but I also know people that I would call British.
My granddad's in the doomsday book.
Definitely not Christian and aren't white.
And I am English, not British. English from the doomsday book from Poynton, the Poynton
and I think within that we also have people that are ethnically English and ethnically Welsh. And I do think that we should be a little bit concerned when very young men are brought on the television, number one, because I don't think I've got a 17-year-old. I would hate for him to say things on national television that could then be used against him for the next sort of 20 years. So I do think we should be political parties should be looking after young people that they send onto TV to defend their positions.
Yeah.
I think that is a fair point. Richard Thompson, from an Advance UK point of view, though, I mean, you have a leader who has Pakistani heritage, yet they're still throwing the racist terms at you guys too, and that's what makes no sense. And I actually thought Charlie Downs was clear in his interview on Talk TV, even though lots of people like Konstantin Kistner come in and saying, well, you didn't answer the question. He just said that it makes you more British if you are Christian. He didn't say that you were not British if you weren't. But I do think, Richard, where we have a real problem in this country is to say that there is no British ethnicity whatsoever. Because, of course, if you are English, Welsh, Scottish or Northern Irish, you are British. You can be a British national. But it's the old thing, Richard, that if I moved to Japan and spent 30 years in Japan, I might have a Japanese passport. I might become a Japanese national, but I'm not ethnically Japanese. And I do think it is a key point, and I don't think it makes you racist.
Thank you.
No, absolutely not. And what you're noticing is as Monty had said there before, is that this is the weapons of the left, and this is what they're doing. And I'll be very surprised. I think you probably know this quite well, Dan.
And when they're saying the British, well, that means that
they're saying that this particular presenter is a spokesperson
the ones that feel ashamed for our own culture. They're the ones that feel ashamed for their own culture, because they're the ones that are like,
they don't want to have these discussions. So then they start to label people as racist and things like that.
The ones that are trying to change their culture, so they're the ones that need to be ashamed.
At Advance UK, I think probably similarly to as Nick was saying,
your old culture for if you're not ashamed of your own
is that
culture?
we recognise that
I'm
this is
English,
a
I won't be changing my
crucial
Englishness. My
thing
culture.
that needs to be identified. That's why when we started formulating our immigration policy, the first thing we noticed to stand out to us is that we need to centre everything around who we are culturally, and that should be our basis.
So why do they need to change their ethnicity and who they are?
And as a party,
if they're not ashamed.
that. So it is very interesting, and I think that a lot of people in the media have actually, probably
they're ashamed of who and what they are.
had some sort of promises made to them for this.
Absolutely. I know that for a fact. There are so many Talk TV presenters and so many GB News presenters who have been promised a safe seat in the Lords. Been promised a seat in the Lords, a safe seat to run for Parliament. Some of them are in discussions with Reform UK about potentially taking on the Caroline Levitt spokesperson role. I think that's intellectually dishonest. I'm very honest about who I vote for, who I might support, but I am not a member of any political party. I do think it makes a difference. Nick Tenconi, want to give the final word of this to you.
I'm not a member, but I will be
as UKIP leader. Of course, you have endorsed Matt Goodwin in the Gorton and Denton by-election, not Richard Thompson's Advance UK candidate, Nick Buckley. That was an interesting decision. Are you regretting it at all, or do you stand by it?
Stand by it. I made the decision, therefore I stand by it. So a massive thank you to you, Dan, and to our panel. I don't see any infighting here at all. I see us on the right as one big happy family. That is if our ideology is conservatism. So I've got a very watchful eye. I've made my offer to Rupert. We clearly don't have any... we don't have an answer from Rupert. I've extended the hand twice now, and that hand remains extended. And my last meaningful conversations with Ben Habib were a year ago. I could only extend the hand so many times. My hand remains extended. We are taking our country back, and to clear up that we must be very careful with our language and control. It's very important to stay in control of the narrative. So the question about what is it to be British. This is definitely an agenda with a certain demographic, a certain group of people. We need to be very careful here. Our shared identity, whether you are agnostic, atheist, Buddhist, doesn't matter. Our shared identity is in our roots. And those roots, in terms of what created Britain and what gave us everything, is Christ. Atheists would agree, agnostics would agree. You don't have to be attending church. We are not secular constitutionally, but those are our roots. So please can I advise the patriots who I work for, your good self, our panel, don't get sucked in to deny that there is an extremist presence on the right of politics at the moment is absolute nonsense. There is that presence. Just because the left's tactics are despicable, and because we've all been labelled Nazis and racists and fascists for absolutely no reason for far too long.
I totally agree, but the problem is, Nick, if we have people apparently on our own side, like Layla Kainem, calling me far right, calling colleagues of Montgomery neo-Nazis, I'm sorry, that is on them. That is on them. And what they are going to do is degrade actual racists, actual Nazis who might be operating in the space. But to suggest that I'm that is so ludicrous. To suggest that Charlie Downs is that is so ludicrous. So I totally hear what you're saying, and I'm not for a single second saying that there is not a presence of extremism. But the problem is, if we're going to see Reform UK go down this path and try and say that anyone who is to the right of them is a neo-Nazi and is far right, well, it's them who is going to create actually this climate.
Absolutely. So again, for you're very kind to give me the last point. So for brevity, I will say this: look, we rise above. We are one family on the right. What's been done has been done. The right people have done the right thing. But Rupert has said what we all know. It's a first past the post system. It's winner takes all. But we are a big family. But that's based on ideology. This is breaking news, and I've been in the field all day long. What Layla said is so irresponsible, and it's so wrong. And this is what I say to the patriots and to the panel: we rise above the noise. We have an ordered mind, and we rise above the noise. And we must. At the general election, you'll have a centrist opportunity, you'll have a centre-right opportunity, a Christian nationalist opportunity, and then whatever. I have questions. Like Rupert hasn't answered them. I don't know the ideology, the policies. Will it become registered as a political party?
Yes.
There are so many questions. But the electorate is going to have an abundance of choice, and in an overcrowded space where you all share the same ideology, that is where splitting of the vote. Those are the preconditions for splitting of the vote, and I will not allow that. I will not hurt Britain. We must stop the Uni Party, but we must also block the communists, the Unholy Alliance, the Islamic Caliphate, and we must unite. However that looks, and that means that myself, Ben, and Rupert need to work closely and collaboratively together.
Totally.
Thank you.
Well, that is a really positive message, actually. And my sense from Rupert is he is open to that. He's not open to any formal merger yet, but he is open to some type of coming together. Nick Tankoni keep pushing ahead on that front. The massive crisis engulfing King Charles and the British royal family has just got worse overnight, with reports now that 7 separate police forces in the United Kingdom are now probing Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, the former royal. And what's most shocking and what is worrying Prince William in particular is that some of these investigations now do relate directly to sex trafficking on Epstein's so-called Lolita Express. So this is the latest. 7 forces now assessing evidence in the Epstein files as part of a nationwide probe coordinated by a team of British police chiefs. Their checks include up to 90 flights into Stansted's private terminal by the jet owned by Mountbatten Windsor's pedo pal Jeffrey Epstein. Essex Police were the latest to weigh in, saying, "We are assessing the information that has emerged in relation to private flights into and out of Stansted Airport following the publication of the US DOJ Epstein files. At least 6 other forces have either launched criminal investigations or are assessing evidence within the files. 3 million pages that include the Metropolitan Police, Surrey, Thames Valley, Norfolk, Bedfordshire and Wiltshire Police." So this is now becoming so difficult to see a situation in which the king potentially becomes embroiled in a court case, something that has always been considered untenable. Of course, this comes further down the path if Andrew is charged and then is put on trial and pleads not guilty. Senior royal sources telling me it's almost impossible to see how Charles could remain on the throne. If Andrew were to give evidence saying that the king approved, or not approved of his behaviour, but was aware of some of these allegations. It's also really mucky, the stuff that's coming out. It's really gross. Like, what about the fact that Andrew sent Christmas cards with numerous photos of his young daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie, to Epstein, despite the fact that he had just been jailed for sex trafficking a 14-year-old? The first card dated the 21st of December 2011 and signed by the then Duke of York, wished Epstein much joy and happiness at this time and for the year ahead. Remember, he told Emily Maitlis, by the way, that he had no communication with Epstein whatsoever. There was another picture as well showing Beatrice and Eugenie alongside their father when they were aged 23 and 21. One image showed the young woman posing in the snow with Princess Beatrice in a silver Christmas cracker hat and earmuffs. I mean, why would you do it? Why would you send paedophile sex trafficker pictures of your own daughter? But then we know Fergie was having discussions with Epstein about Eugenie being on a shagging weekend. It's also really difficult for Andrew in terms of the US aspect of all of this. David Boyd, who was the lawyer for the late Virginia Giuffre,